One.
Hello, and welcome once again to our industry webcast series here on the 103advantage.com. I'm your host, Dominic Giratano. As is the case every time we get together for one of these shows, this program is action-packed with informative and educational content for anyone and everyone who's tuning into our broadcast this evening. In general, its purpose remains the same, to make sure our members, our signatory contractors, and the public at large understands who and what Local 103 is all about, as it continues on its mission of providing quality craftsmanship working in safe conditions for satisfied customers. In particular, tonight, we're going to see just how successful Local 103 was in bidding work in the first quarter of 2012, followed by an in-depth discussion with business manager Mike Monahan on the current state of the electrical education and training, as well as the changes already underway to better meet the market. Finally, we'll bring it all together as we're joined by a very special guest, Executive Director of the NJATC, Mike Callanan. With that said, let's get right down to it. Joining me here on set, Business Manager Mike Monahan. Welcome. Thanks for taking the time once again.
Yeah, thanks, Tom.
Let's go ahead and talk about market share numbers as it relates to the first quarter of 2012. How'd you guys do?
We did okay. I wish the numbers were always better, of course. The dollar value was more, which was good, but we slipped a little bit in the jobs, the amount of jobs. But if I was going to slip anywhere, I guess I'd rather slip in the jobs than the money. The money, of course, is where the jobs are, the hours come from.
And if we look at the graphic here on the bottom of the screen, there were 70 total jobs available. Go ahead and recap how you guys did, and just specifically.
Yeah, well, there was 70 jobs, about $70 million worth of electrical work. We held our own, as we have every month and every quarter. We've been breaking them down for 10 years. We've set our sights on this market because it's prevailing rate work. We once had it at one time, and in this quarter is $51.3 million that went to our contractors. Will be employing our members. So as I said, we had this industry at one time, and we walked away from it, really. Went more towards the negotiated private work for a number of reasons. But it's been a long fight back for about 10 years now. And we'll get there. We're going to get back to where we once were and not make the same mistakes that were made before, letting it slip away. I am a little concerned. Of course, you'll see later on, Mayor Menino's video that he put, the work is picking up, and it can't come soon enough, as I say all the time. But with that work coming up, the more negotiated private work, which I get the sense from our employers is better work. It's electrical work. For us, it doesn't matter really where it is. It's all pipe and wire and telecommunications. But the negotiated private work, I think, is where they would like to be. So I'm seeing a pullback from the public market, which concerns me. So we're going to have to pay special attention to that. We had one bidder on the Hingham High School job. We were low. There was a protest going on. And we had one bidder at, two bidders at the new Central Middle School in Quincy. Mm-hmm. Some say it only takes one, but the more bidders we have, of course, our chances increase. So mm-hmm. It concerns me, and we have to pay special attention because I do not want to slip back to where we once were.
As a percentage comparison, 2011 to 2012, it's always good to kind of look at where you were to where you are today, and you can say $51 million, and you can say 37 out of 70. But as it relates to a percentage basis, you guys are up, and you're up about 40%.
Yeah, 40% on the dollars, which means there's where the jobs are. So I'm happy about that. But as I said, the jobs piece slipped. One of the ways not to slip back to where we were is to pay special attention to those little jobs. Those little non-union contractors that are doing those jobs will be the big contractors of the future that we're going to have to deal with. And that's where some of the mistakes were made in the past. So why we help our members go into business, why we target that small work, as small as it is, you have to stifle the growth of your future competition and its jobs. So it concerns me, and we're going to have to address it, and we will.
Local 103, its membership, you talked about it. I'm sure they're grateful for the amount of work that you and your staff is putting in, especially in this tough time, to target the work, to get as much as you can. But they're also working on their behalf as well to improve their skills. Some recent college graduates in the Local 103 membership ranks. Talk about that.
Yeah, well, I think you're referring to the worth partnership there we had. So Leo Purcell has done a great job. He really formed that relationship. It's been an idea for many, many years. And so Leo did an awful lot of the legwork. We've worked with Wentworth. They've been a great partner of ours. We've done their work for years. They've finished their master plan, and we're looking forward to doing a lot of their work coming up. So we've partnered. They took our whole curriculum. They gave us 27 credits towards our apprenticeship. The associate's degree in applied science and engineering is an additional 33 credits. It's an 18-month course, and we've had 29 people graduate. So many are going on for their bachelor's. So we want to keep this alive. So as the member goes through the apprenticeship and gets a top-notch education, this is offered to them to get their associate's and their bachelor's degree. One, I think it helps in the obviously the education of our members, but also in the branding that the users, the general contractors, they can say they're getting a top-notch electrician, a top-notch telecommunication, and quite possibly have his associate's degree, and for that matter, maybe even a bachelor's. So it's all part of the educational process of our members and branding at the same time.
And scholarships are important. Local 103 does many things to help the membership, providing scholarships, SAT classes, so that for the children of members. So go ahead and talk about that a little.
Yeah, it's good. You know, every year it's nice. It's Local 103's members' money. It's not on the tree out back. It's their money, and we've been doing scholarships for years. We give out 10 $10,000 scholarships, 5 to sons, 5 to daughters, and it's vetted through the AFL-CIO process. So we have that awards dinner every year at Local 103's complex, which was just a couple of weeks ago. So the many sons and daughters of many trades were there. The 5 sons, the 5 daughters all got the $10,000 scholarship to the college or university they're going to. And then we have a pin night every year where members get their pins. So we're going to recognize them there as well. And I think it's important that we have our own event, and you know, the members can feel good about helping sons and daughters of members moving on to college.
What's the application process like?
The application process for the scholarship?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's through the AFL-CIO, so we never see it. We don't have any input on who gets picked, and they have a staff that goes through all the applications, and they have to write a paper on unionism, and it's a big piece of it. So as well as their grades and so on and so forth. So AFL-CIO actually tells us who the 5 and 5 are.
And it's important for them through the paper, through their work, that you hope down the line that they remember that they were helped out during their college years.
Yeah, it's for a number of reasons. Of course, it's to give back to the members and as well. But yeah, I mean, that member's son or daughter later on in life that may not be in the trade in a position of decision making on whether it's a building trades person or unions in general. Yeah, we hope that they remember where they came from, and it's the right thing to do, of course. The other scholarship we're involved in, of course, is Curry College. It's a $20,000 scholarship, and that's not the members' money. That's Curry College. We have a great relationship with Curry. Ken Quigley formed a relationship with 103 years ago, and he's been doing that $20,000 scholarship for years now and has no intentions on stopping it. Not a scholarship, but the SAT prep. We get about, I would say, about 150 sons and daughters that go through that every year. And that's about $1,000 on the street if you were going to buy it.
And to go take a class on your own?
Yeah, go take it on your own. So we have that right in our training center at free of charge. And it's the members, it's the union that pays for it. But it's just another educational opportunity that we are involved with.
Sure. Thanks for your insight. We're going to go ahead and take a break right now, but we're going to play a video more than take a break, because we'll be right back in about 1 minute and 40 seconds.
Sounds
but,
good.
The video, talk to us a little bit about it, what the members are going to see, what the audience is going to see in this video.
That's the mayor's piece.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the Year of the Crane, as the mayor has branded it. As I mentioned, work is finally picking up. Boston was no exception to the worldwide crisis. Not as hard hit as many places in the country. although the college endowments and everybody took a hit in '08, but it's recovering. You'll see the numbers in a second there, but I'll point out that Vertex job. Broadway has one portion of it, Sully Mack has the other portion of it. That's 1 million square feet, the largest private construction project in the country.
Wow.
Today, $1 billion job, and we've talked about it at union meetings. The Kendall Square piece that's coming, and there's numbers of projects which you'll see many, but not all. You'll only see the Boston ones. The Cambridge Kendall Square portion is almost as big.
Great. Let's go ahead and roll that video, and don't go anywhere. We'll be back in about 1 minute and 40 seconds. Mike, certainly thanks to the mayor for putting that together. Very informative piece and shows the growth in the Boston market. You guys have a great relationship, you and the mayor.
Yeah, we're fortunate, but he's been there for us, and you know, we don't forget friends like that. So yeah, we're fortunate to have a mayor. I really think he's the best building trades mayor in the country. I really do. The guy is committed to apprenticeships, and he knows the benefits of decent wages and pensions and health care, and he's been a great advocate for us. And these jobs don't go union by accident.
You know? Talking about apprenticeship, Leo Purcell is retiring director of apprenticeship over at the JATC. Yeah. What do you have to say about Leo? Yeah,
Leo's a special guy, a special friend. Known him as my whole life. I mean, since my first memories, Leo, I've known him, a friend of my father's, and he's going to be sorely missed. Leo is moving on. He's been a member for many, many years. I think 1968, I think he came in the apprenticeship. 1967, he got his license. So he came in the apprenticeship with his license, went through the apprenticeship, served as a journeyman, a steward, a foreman, a business agent, went on to run the state building trades. It was important. I'm glad he was there when he was. 1988, question 2, for those that remember, was a challenge to the prevailing wage law in Massachusetts. And Leo spearheaded that statewide. Talented, committed guy. I always say moss does not grow underneath Leo's shoes. So he's worked for Senate President Birmingham. He went to law school in later life, got his law degree, opened up his own law practice. He's going to be sorely missed. He's not leaving though. He's officially retiring June 1st. Jimmy O'Connell, Chris Sherlock, the transition's been going on. We'll have 2, not the 3 people that we've had for years run the school. So just Jimmy and Chris will be running the school. But Leo's volunteered to stay on. So he's going to stay on and oversee the fit out, the build out of the new building that we've purchased, and we're going to talk. So I'm glad he's just committed to it, and so he'll be on pension, but he's going to be a clerk of the work, so to speak, unpaid clerk of the work, and see that whole piece through.
Great. Before we get to the new building, let's just talk apprenticeship for a minute. How many apprentices are in the school? How many hours go into it, just to make sure everything's out on the table?
Yeah, well, it's a 5-year apprenticeship, both in the electrical and the telecommunication. Both telecom and the electrical do about 200 classroom hours a year on average. Some years are more than others. It's about a $2.5 million annual budget. It's a top-notch program. We're very proud of that. But we're looking at changing that, and I think we'll talk about that later on in the program with Mike. But so the 5-year apprenticeship is a curriculum piece. We have it's a night school, but we did make a change. This year, the first-year apprentices were day schools, 26 weeks, 8-hour day, 7 to 3:30, and it was on Monday. So next year, Monday will be the first-year apprentices again. Tuesday will be the second year, which was this year's first year. And then after, I guess, 4 years, all our apprentices will be going days. It'll be a day school. So
what are
Monday
the early
through Friday.
What are the early returns on that? I mean, what are you hearing? Yeah. Is it successful? Is it producing a better apprentice?
Definitely, definitely. The feedback I'm getting from employers and the teachers that these first-year apprentices were different. Now, that doesn't mean anything against the other first-year apprentices in years past. I was one of them. Mike was one of them who will be joining us. It's the type of learning. So there's been some society changes, of course. Today, not uncommon. The father or the mother working in the electrical business meets the other spouse at the driveway, and they pass off the kids. And when the apprentice should be doing homework for the electrical apprenticeship, they're actually helping the kids with their homework. So the dynamics of the family has changed, and so we've transitioned to the day school, and I think it's served us well, and I think it continues to serve us well. The teachers say that these first-year apprentices are accomplishing tasks that other first-year apprentices in the past have not done. And once again, it's just different learning, more time being spent during an 8-hour day. And they're bending 90s, they're doing back-to-back 90s, they're doing saddles, I'm told, they're doing 3-ways and 4-ways. That wasn't typical what first-year apprentices did. Now, some that went to trade school, and like we just talked about Leo, he came in the program with his license, as many have, did do and know those things, but the vast majority didn't. So what that means is there's going to be more to learn and get those pieces out of the way. So it's a win-win, I think.
The actual physical space is being expanded. You've purchased a new building. What's the lowdown on that?
The new building, right behind our apprentice school, for those that know, it's the MBTA owned the building, about a 52,000 square foot building. The MBTA owned it. We've been trying to buy it for years. The bidding process was not like a typical house. You put your bid in and it goes back and forth. It was a sealed bid, 2 bidders, us and the Boston Police. We were fortunate enough to win it. I think it's worth more to us than it is to someone else. The Boston Police bid $2 million was their price. We wanted $2,617,103. Their bid, we beat them by $2,000 bucks, I think, $2,103. So their bid was $2,615,000. So we beat them $2,103. We won. When the envelopes opened, we were the bidder. And what we're going to do there, Dom, it's going to be more of a hands-on building. We're going to have, things that we just can't do in our current building. And I think we'll discuss some of that in a little bit. But in the back of that, we're going to have a 100 kW solar farm. Sullivan McLaughlin has got a company to donate all the stanchions, all the brackets, all they were looking for us to give back to them was to be able to bring future clients through. And it's going to be that type of setup. We want it to be for field trips and show what a proper installation looks like and show what people do. We have an opportunity. I'm negotiating with a company that we may be able to put another sign up, large billboard, I want to say 14 by 48 feet, which is going to generate a lot of revenue back to the organization if we can put it all together. It's got to go through the permitting process. And there's, the trains go right by there. So some other signage there also that's going to brand us in a positive way. So I'm excited about it, and we're going to make sure we do it right, which is why I asked Leo to stay on, and very willingly to stay on. It's got to be done right, and that's how we want it.
Where are you at now in the build-out stage or design stage?
Yeah, we're in the design stage now. Mike Callahan's been great. Leo has visited a couple of facilities around the country that are day schools and have similar facilities. We've met with some of our contractors who have given us some input on what they think labs should be built out, and so we're in the process of getting ideas and starting to put it to paper. And I would like, it's aggressive, January 1 ribbon cutting, but that's what I'd like to do, and so this next year's class benefits from it.
We'll get into just exactly what's going to go in that building when you guys build it out here in a minute.
Yep, sure.
But there certainly seems like there's a lot going on. I think it's fair to say that you guys, you said no moss under Leo's feet, but I think that holds true for IBEW Local 103.
Yeah,
well.
you have to continue to change, no doubt.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to take another break here in just 1 second, and when we come back, Mike and I will be joined with Mike Callahan from the NJATC to give us his perspective from the national viewpoint. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Boston's leading renewable energy professionals are proving it once again with the newest green technology hitting the Commonwealth, electric vehicles. Our electricians and technicians are certified charging station installers. See for yourself. Stop by our offices for a quick, no-charge charge, and we'll explain what we can offer. Think IBEW Local 103 for electric vehicle charging stations. Visit us online at the103advantage.com. You expect to see the expertise of IBEW Local 103 in electrical installations throughout the Commonwealth, but did you know the helping hand of our electricians and technicians reaches all the way down to Haiti? For months, Local 103 members have been volunteering their time to build a new hospital in this tiny nation following the devastating earthquake of 2010. Working with the aid organization Partners in Health, we are bringing critical healthcare support to those who need it the most.
Electricity is not something you can mess around with, and it's not something that we could afford to waste time with on this project. We need the best, we need the guys from Boston. I instantly turned to Sully Mack and then actually 103 with those. I'd worked with them in Boston and they were the best.
Helping those in need, the right thing to do, more than just electricians. Any of these sayings apply to the men and women of Local 103 who have gone and will continue to go down to Haiti to work on this project. Click on the103advantage.com for more information. They travel to the ends of the earth in honor of the American mission. For too many, when they come home to the land they love, their battles are far from over. Illness and lack of opportunity becomes the new enemy. That's why IBEW Local 103 continually supports and hosts Project Stand Down, a national program providing care and assistance to veterans in need. Let us all take care of the brave men and women who have taken care of us. For more, click Project Stand Down on the103advantage.com.
IBEW Local 103 electricians and technicians power our city, help us communicate, and convert nature into energy. But our impressive skills don't stop there.
Local 103 is partnering with Wentworth Institute of Technology. And when their members have completed their studies, they will have earned an associate degree in engineering technology.
IBEW Local 103, the best electricians and technicians in the world.
With a college degree in their tool belt.
Click Wentworth on the103advantage.com. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us as we finish up our program. Our final segment, as you can see, we are joined by our special guest to my left, to Mike's left, Mike Callahan, Executive Director of the NJATC. Mike, thanks for taking the time to join us here tonight.
It's great to be with you. Thanks for having me here tonight.
How busy are you these days?
Well, it's been busy, but that's good news. Been on the road, spending a lot of time with our contractors, with our IBEW members, and our training partners, and we're excited, starting to feel some wind behind us. And while the effects of this incredible economic recession has still left a lot in its wake, I'm excited about what the next 12 months holds in store for us.
Some of the changes you're hearing on the national viewpoint, on the national stage, maybe as it relates to the changing nature of the industry and relationships and apprentice to journeyman.
Sure. Yeah, it was exciting to hear some of Michael's comments about the project that they're working on, and I think that aligned perfectly with what we've experienced over the last 10 years or so. Right before our eyes, the very nature of apprenticeship has changed. It's not, Michael, the same apprenticeship system that we went through. You alluded to in your comments, but when I was apprentice, I spent a lot of time standing at the bottom of the ladder, watching the journeyman up there, waiting for my chance to get an opportunity to do my trade, to learn my trade. Today, we don't have the luxury of apprentices standing at the bottom of the ladder. And, also, with that, the hands-on skills that we learned as apprentices on the trade, leaning over the journeyman's shoulder, looking at the blueprints, learning how to bend conduit there. A lot of that's been pushed to the JATCs, and the JATCs have an incredible responsibility now because the apprentice has to be a competitive part of the workforce. Our apprentices, day one on the job, have to help improve the profitability of the job. So when I hear this discussion about, a new annex and a training area dedicated to hands-on training, I think that's perfectly aligned with what we're going to need to do to regain the market share and to demonstrate to our customers that we're putting the most highly trained and skilled workers on the job every day.
They learn a little bit of, in the classroom, it's theory, it's book learning, it's testing,
Sure.
it's understanding just the basics of electrical work.
Right.
And they did get a little bit of hands-on training, but nothing to the level of what they're going to receive in this new facility.
Yeah, we have hands-on training in our facility now, but it's good to get you an idea, but it's not the same as on a job site. So the 8-hour day now, the day school, you're going to have 8 hours of hands-on training, and unfortunately that's needed. But as Mike was saying, the competitive nature of this industry, we changed because we had to change the competition. And we have to always be more competitive because the difference in wages and benefits. And so there is no downtime whatsoever. There's no apprentice that's there learning in that capacity, like Mike and I were talking earlier. That journeyman-apprentice relationship, that's gone. That apprentice gets on the job today, he's productive. It's not about learning, it's about producing. So they have them doing jobs, producing in a manner, but not learning in a manner. So we're excited about it. Mike's been great. I tell you, it couldn't. What he's been doing, it couldn't come at a better time. There's guys, what I feel about, bring his name up, Mark Ayers, guys that have changed the industry, a guy like Breslin, and Mike Callahan's one of those guys. He's around the whole country, and it comes at a time when people are looking for changes and need changes, and Mike is there. When he'll get into the blended learning, the online stuff, the hands-on in these day schools and stuff, and the IBEW is going to be in a better place once he's able to institute everything that he wants to do. And it's exciting because it's going to turn out a more productive and more better electrician and technician. So it's all good stuff.
Well, I appreciate those kind remarks. I think because the nature of apprentices has changed, we have to redefine apprenticeship so it works for us. And that's the difference today. We're not circumventing the apprenticeship system. The model, the delivery is going to look different. Apprentices are still going to have, some of them are probably sad to hear that they're still going to have to learn Ohm's law, and they're still going to have to learn to do these theoretical concepts. But along with that, we want to make sure that they're productive workers as soon as we can. So we're front-loading things. We're running things like the boot camp that I know 103 has been using to get people up to skill earlier in the program. We're using application-based training where we're teaching apprentices early in the program specific skills like 3-ways and 4-ways and bending 90s, things so that they can learn and be productive right away on the job site. So it's a shift, it's a necessary shift, but it's certainly going to be a bigger and better apprenticeship model in the end.
Would you mind explaining the boot camp just a little bit more and exactly what that is and
Sure.
why it's important?
I mean, think about that. We take apprentices for the most part that were working before they got the great letter that they were accepted into 103. They could have been flipping burgers and Mickey D's on Friday. And they get the letter that they're going to have an opportunity to go into a construction site in this great apprenticeship opportunity. It's a minefield out there that they're walking into. So we want to make sure they can be productive, they can be safe right off the bat. So what we've tried to do is design a 40-hour standard boot camp curriculum where they can learn some basic hazard awareness, they can learn some basic conduit bendings, tools and material identification, things that will help them be productive so they're not standing at the bottom of the ladder like I was, they're learning their craft, and the kids respond to that incredibly. I will mention too, Michael mentioned the blended learning. We're going to even be coming up with a virtual boot camp where even before they get to 103, apprentices today will spend time in an online setting, identifying the difference between a 4 11/16 box and a 4-inch round. Things that allow us to improve the efficiency of the time that Michael's team and his instructors get them there in the training center.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah, the online stuff, we're excited about it too. We've been contracted with the company ViewBiz, V-U-B-I-Z, and we've been, like the scholarships, it's online, but it's been for Word, PowerPoint, Excel, so some of our members can learn that at home, and it's free of charge. So some of those may not, who are watching tonight, may be hearing it for the first time, but the letter goes out every year. So we've just renewed the contract, but we're going to enter into an agreement with Mike as well. And Mike has it all put together for online, whether it be bending, whether it be motor control. So you can, from your house, get into some motor control learning for the journeyman and the apprentice, I guess, if he wants a little extra. And you may be being transferred to, or being put on a motor control something tomorrow, and maybe you're a little rusty. You'll be able to go home, go online, and look at it. The blended learning is great stuff. The core curriculum, what we're going to do in this new building, we're heavy on pharmaceutical, medical areas. So in this new building we're going to have a portion for roughing in. It's going to be hospital grade. We're going to have wire pulling set up. So we'll have a tugger downstairs. We'll have the reel. We'll have the make up the Beckett, and we're going to have the fiber lab. We're going to have a motor control lab. But the big piece that we've been talking to Mike about, and he's a big proponent of it, is testing out. So there may be some apprentices' spoons and forks dropping right now, but we've adopted this year testing out. So you get through your curriculum piece, but you're actually going to have to perform a task, hands-on task of a first-year apprentice, and it's all been put together through Mike and the NJTC. And that's through the whole apprenticeship. So a third-year apprentice is going to have to be able to perform these functions. And if you can't perform these functions, even if you have a 95 on all your exams, you're not moving on to the 4th year. And that could be, taking a piece of pipe and running that pipe and wiring a motor, or putting some 3-way, some 4-way, switch the top of the plug, or whatever it might be. On the electrical side and the telecom, yeah, of course, we would love for that 5th year at some point to be programming a switch. It's something that we don't have a lot of people to do. But it's something that we certainly have to get there on a data switch and so on and so forth. So we're gonna have a vault in this building. We're gonna have gear in this building. Apprentice is going to be able to go look at and do some CAD welding. It's only the chosen few, so to speak. If you're lucky enough to be on a job where someone shows a little interest and says, "Hey, listen, let me show you how to do this," and some high voltage splicing, and it's going to be a place that you can learn this trade and not hope you get with the right contractor to learn that part of the business. And you're going to have to know every aspect of this business to graduate that apprentice school. So we've been working closely. We've been working with Mike for a long time over the years, but really closely lately instituting these pieces. Leo and Mike have been working closely on this, as Jim and Chris as well. So,
well, I think you're right, Michael. There is a piece of luck involved in this. Think about how our trade has changed in the last 20, 25 years. When I was in an apprenticeship program, I didn't work on a solar PV. You have a wind turbine. You've been cutting edge and studying wind turbines. Those types of skills didn't exist. And now that they do, the challenge is how each apprentice gets exposure to those during the course of an 8-hour apprenticeship. So I applaud your effort. I think you guys are right on track in making sure that there are minimum competencies that every apprentice demonstrates, regardless of whether they happen to be on a solar job or not during that. And I think there's two big reasons why this is important. The first is we can't afford to have an apprentice fall through the cracks anymore. And that's not their fault. It's just they didn't see that type of work, and now, they're penalized because they didn't have an opportunity to see that work. The second thing I think, which is equally important, is our customers today. They're demanding. They want to know the knowledge, skills, and abilities of the workforce that's entering their property. This is a perfect tool by marrying up an evaluation tool with an NJTC, IBEW, NECA craft certification tool, so we can tell our customers, our guys are certified. They're the best out there, and here's how we make sure we do it and demonstrate them. So, I applaud that effort, and I think it's going to reap great dividends for you, both in what you find out about what your apprentices are getting exposure to and what our customers expect from their workforce.
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, some will chuckle, little listeners. You know, there was an old saying, I got a yellow ticket in my pocket, and that meant, you know, you kind of knew it all. You went through it and you got it all. The general public doesn't see it that way. And unfortunately, these certifications, and they're a big part of it. But so you will be certified in a lot of these aspects of our trade as it goes through. Mike, I'll let you touch on it, but we're going to also adapt this, the blended learning piece with the instructor. He's going to be able to go online and see the home lesson and see that, you know, 90% of the class got up to here with no problem whatsoever. So I don't know if it's a great point.
I think those are, you know, probably the two primary projects the NJTC is working on is the core curriculum model, which is changing, as you know, and it's been implemented for our first and second year apprentices, and then of course the blended learning model. Let me begin with the core model, for example. You know, for 70 plus years, the IBEW NECA through the NJTC has delivered one standard curriculum. It's been one model. Everyone, whether you're in Boston or you're in California and Texas, everyone learned the same skill set to be deemed an inside journeyman wireman. What we've learned over the last 10 years or so is that there's market differentiation. Electrical markets in Boston look a lot different than electrical markets in El Paso or in San Antonio. So this core model will allow local programs to have the flexibility to shape their curriculum after we've established minimum core skills for every apprentice, because we want them employable across all of our contractors' work that they would do. But beyond that, the local parties will now begin to say, you know, we think solar is a great opportunity. You mentioned earlier healthcare facilities. I'll give you an example on that. We've developed a text just on installing electrical systems in healthcare facilities. I know that's a big part of the Boston market share for you. We've been limited previously because of the length of apprenticeship, where we could only teach maybe half of those lessons. Under the core model, the local parties, Michael and his team, will sit down and say, this is so important to us, we want to include all of those lessons in. So core is the first piece. The second piece is the blended piece, and the blended piece is critical because our students today, our new apprentices today, they've grown up with the smartphones, the computers, and they've really recognized that this is the way we can reach them. And so what we're doing is changing the delivery to a learning management system. It's a blended learning model. Students will be doing work assignments at home, you know, on the job. They'll be working through their learning in an online format, but they will still come to the classroom. It's a blended learning model, meaning like we're going to use technology for what it does best, and then we're going to bring them back into the classroom, and as Michael alluded to, we're going to have all the information about what they've done up front, and we're going to be able to increase the efficiency of that classroom time. And when we do that, that gives us more time to get into our pipe bending shop. So we can go into a pipe bending shop, so we can hook up transformers. We can do the things that need to be done to make these workers more productive on the workforce.
Sounds like a great partnership you guys got.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm looking forward to instituting this portion of it.
Mike, from the NJTC level, your platinum level training partners are extremely important to what you do. Let's just touch on that for a second and educate our audience about.
You know, I think this is a perfect context of how our training partner program can help IBEW Local 103 and all of our programs out there. We have about 100 training partners that we have formed relationships with, some better than others. About 40 of them are what I call practicing Catholics. They're with us 365 days a year, 7 days a week. And out of that 35, there's another 10 that have distinguished themselves as platinum level training partners. These are the best of the best. I was just with one earlier on my way out tonight and this evening, and I can tell you that these training partners have taken great steps to help us train the next generation of electrical workers. They're committed to Boston 103 and putting the best face on training the next generation. they understand that this is a huge challenge, and they're willing to stand by IBEW NECA and stand with the NJTC by putting their hard-earned dollars, their employees' dollars, into supporting our training efforts. And I'm talking about, companies like Milwaukee Tools, Klein Tools, Fluke. These are outstanding companies that have been with us, Westex and training partners like 3M that are there with us and they're committed to doing. Now what that'll enable us to do is when you build Hands-On Training Center, they're going to be standing right there with you. So instead of looking at these things, in a textbook, the apprentices will be they'll be drilling and they'll be we're working on lessons about fasteners. Today there's a science between fasteners. We'll be teaching apprentices the different techniques and they'll be actually doing the work in this kind of training center. So I think this training partner program is really going to help us get over the hump in making these things more affordable because it's a huge challenge for us.
Any final thoughts as we get to the end of the program here?
I'm excited to be here with him. I've said this before, and I've been on record as saying this. I think Boston and Local 103 has always developed an incredibly cutting-edge program. I think I've said this before, Michael, but I think when we write the history books on training in the IBEW NECA, Boston and what you guys committed to in that training center many years ago will be one of those defining moments in history. They were the first ones that really got that. This is what we need to be focusing on, building and putting our money in training centers for our customers. And now I feel like we're on the cusp of another one of those where you guys, with this new building, have an opportunity to say, we're going to set the stage for what it really means to build a hands-on training center for our members and demonstrate to our customers that we're committed to putting the most highly trained, the most highly skilled and productive workers on every job, every day. Every hour counts.
You can't get beat that way in the market either. I mean, with
Absolutely
that kind of commitment.
not.
Mike, any final thoughts?
No, just Leo, Jimmy, and Chris have been working with Mike on those partners as well. Greenlee was another one. So when we build this out, Mike has put us in contact with those people, and they've all committed to doing their part, which is a money saver as well, and they get their product put out. And soon you're going to start to see on our sign, those members watching know our sign we have in the expressway, we've agreed to kind of promote those businesses as well, and they're going to give back to us as we build out this facility. And we want state-of-the-art benders and all the other tools and materials as well. It's not just tools for this new facility.
I was happy to hear the news of Leo. I'm happy for him and his family, and I could tell you, I've had the opportunity to work with him over the last year and a half, and I mean, he personifies what I think is best about the IBEW NECA. I mean, these are the kind of people we have, so I wish him the very best in the next phase of his career, because I know there'll be a next phase.
Yep, no, certainly will, and he'll be dealing with you as we build this out as well. But
look forward to it.
Yeah, I'm sure Leo's not going to be just sitting around, that's for sure.
Gentlemen, thank you for your time once again.
Thanks for having me.
Mike, thanks for coming in. You truly enhanced our webcast series, as we try to do with each one of these, is to try to bring value and educate our audience and show just the best aspects of Local 103.
Yeah, great, thanks, Don.
So thanks for your time. So whether on your computer, your smartphone, or your tablet, remember, Local 103 content is available anytime, anywhere. We'll see you next time.